Alright, I'm just going to demo some of the tools that I have made, if I can get my wheel going. Okay, so I'm just going to demonstrate how to use this small rib tool now. Basically, I'm using this like I use a metal rib or any other wooden rib. I'm really pressing my fingers out against the tool and lifting up with it. You can get a lot of height with this, and you can really move the clay. If you were working on a really big piece, you could use this tool, and this would be really nice for like, especially a straight shape, pressing out against a really tall shape. And I find that the long side really helps you see if your wall is a little off or not. But for this, small one is perfect. I'm just making a flower pot, and I'm going to show you some decorative tools as well. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with the shape. So I want to get the water out of my pot. I got 3 different sponge options on my website. This one is for very large pots. You know, it's much easier, I find, using a sponge on a stick than getting your arm in there. You can kind of, I don't know, get messed up that way. I often go to this one, which has got a big sponge on the end for forms that are wide, but often the forms are quite closed in and small, so I like having a skinnier sponge. This is sort of my go-to, actually, that kind of size. Alright, and let's say you wanted to cut off a little bit from the rim. Got a pin tool here. This is just like a nice fine needle in a piece of bamboo, and you can just cut off like that. And you know, you can use that for measuring the size of your base as well. Now, because I just did that, my my rim's kind of a bit raggedy, so I'll often finish my pot with a piece of chamois leather, and yeah, it just really smooths out the rims beautifully. I use that very often. Alright, so let's see decorative options. So I got these 2 tools for making lines on pots. This one has got much thicker end, and then this one has 2 different sizes. This one's a bit more rounded and this one's more pointed. So I'll just show you how they look. That one's quite a broad line. That one's about half the size, and that one's about half the size again. So you know, I think it's really nice to mix up your line sizes. It kind of, well, it just adds a bit of detail. And for certain things like teapots, I'll use this as well for like smoothing in areas. It's quite a good like sculptural tool as well. The other end of this tool I often use for cutting off clay at the bottom. Some people, I like having a square edge. Some people like a cut edge, so I've got those as well. You can just use that exactly the same. And this one's got a very broad end to it too. So now if this was dry, like tomorrow, I could come in and carve it. Now so this is my carving tool, and you will find that the ends of these come to a point, and over time they get dull, so you just have to sand them down. But they make a very fine line. And you just carve into the clay like that. It's easier to see when the clay is leather hard. But just for demonstration purposes. So that's nice if you want to do any carving. Oh, and I've got this. This is a wild brush. I just sort of invented this. It's more like a broom made with the ends of the bamboo. And so I'll just show you. If I get some thick slip, I'm going to put some on, and you'll just see the way that this brush marks. Okay, so I mean that's a pretty sloppy application, but you get the idea. So one end is thicker than the other. It gives you like a really nice, what's the word? Kind of enigmatic brush stroke. I'll use the other end that's thicker. So you can see it kind of, every time is going to be different because they're uneven. And yeah, I really like these, but again, I would do this when it was leather hard, and I'd do it to the whole pot. Let's see what else we got. Oh, we got the wire tool. These are really simple. Just I use fishing wire on them, and you know, occasionally if I really pull, the fishing wire will break, but they're easy to replace. They've just got a hole drilled, and you just put the fishing wire through, tie it and knot it. So that's that. The only other one is this, which I use for trimming the bases of tea bowls. It's more like a knife. You can come round and trim with it. Oh, I'm a little tool holder. So yeah, there you go. That's just a little overview of the tools. And yeah, thanks.